maybe 6 or so, there was a big baby shower at my grandmother's house. This was many years ago, before they were using ultrasound in pregnancy, so very little was known about an infant before it was born. Well, the guests were all excitedly asking the kinds of questions people asked back then, like, how big do you think the baby will be? What sex do you think the baby will be? And me being me, wanting to be part of things, I asked, what color do you think the baby will be? The entire room full of white church ladies simultaneously dropped their jaws to the floor so hard they left craters in the living room carpet. Some adult rushed me out of the fray saying, why would you even ask that? I can explain. When my dad left my mom, she had to raise me alone. My grandparents helped out by taking me whenever they could, especially summers. Mom and I moved around a lot, so most of the friends in my life lived in my grandparents' neighborhood in El Paso, Texas, the place that was constant. My best friend was T. We'd been pals since we were toddlers, too young to cross the street without a grown-up in tow. T was African American, though I didn't actually know that until we were much older, and one day out of the blue she said, you know I'm black, don't you? And I said, oh, and we went back to playing and the discussion. But T's parents were Latino American, and they spoke both English and Spanish in their home. Down the block was our friend Jay and her little brother M. Jay had blonde hair, blue eyes, and pale white skin, but M had darker features, Latino American like their mother. The father in that house was white though. Around the corner was an African American family, and they had 4 boys, 2 African American and 2 Latino American. And the Asian American couple, well, they had Asian American children, though by this point, I figured that was just an interesting coincidence. But you get the general picture. Now, I'm sure someone had explained the concept of adoption to me, but I failed to make the connection to genetics. I was only 6. So I knew that children existed in many different shades of skin and that families were often mixed. So I mistakenly believed that when a baby was born, it could randomly come out any color of the human rainbow, any race at all. Isn't that ridiculous? But stop for just a minute and imagine, what if it was true? What if racial types were merely a matter of chance, so that anyone you met of any race or color on earth could be related to you? What if anyone you saw out walking around might look just like your child, your sibling, your parent? What if it was true? What a completely different worldview. Could racism still stand? How could it? So what would the racists do with all of that extra time on their hands? Would they simply find some other reason to discriminate? Or can we be optimistic and envision a more utopian fate? A place where we are one huge family, a spectrum of diversity, and yet all the same in the most important ways. One planetary species, fascinating creatures, possessing beautiful varieties of shapes, sizes, skin tones, and features, haphazardly assigned at birth. But stop for just a minute and imagine, what if we could learn to live as if it really was true?